In the heart of a bustling city, Detective Sarah Anderson embarked on a relentless pursuit to unmask the mind of Jonathan Harris, a serial killer who left a trail of brutal murders in his wake. The case had consumed her every waking moment, as she painstakingly pieced together the evidence, determined to understand the twisted psyche behind the heinous crimes. Chapter 1: The Awakening. It began with a phone call, a grisly discovery in a deserted alleyway. The victim's body bore the distinctive signature of a serial killer. Sarah's heart sank as she examined the scene, the precision of the wounds, the ritualistic nature of the display. This was the work of a meticulous predator, a hunter who reveled in the terror of their prey. Sarah immersed herself in the investigation, poring over case files, connecting the dots. As the body count rose, she realized they were dealing with a serial killer who had been operating undetected for years. Determined to understand the mind behind the crimes, she delved into the dark recesses of Jonathan Harris's world. Chapter 2: A Childhood Shrouded in Darkness. Flashbacks took us back to Jonathan's troubled childhood, a time marked by abuse, neglect, and shattered innocence. Growing up in a dilapidated home, he was subjected to unimaginable horrors that scarred his young mind. Cruelty became his constant companion, and the seed of darkness took root. We witnessed pivotal events that shaped Jonathan's twisted psyche: a father's rage, a mother's abandonment, and a sense of isolation that festered within him. These early experiences molded him into a predator, a being who reveled in the control he could exert over others. Chapter 3: The Inner Demons. Determined to gain insight into Jonathan's mind, Sarah engaged in a series of intense interviews. Face to face with the killer, she sought to unravel the motivations, justifications, and perverse pleasures that drove him. Jonathan's chilling dialogue revealed a distorted worldview, where he believed he had the right to play God and unleash suffering upon his victims. He described the adrenaline rush that surged through his veins, the twisted sense of power he derived from taking lives. He justified his actions with a self-righteous conviction, claiming that he was purging the world of the weak and undeserving. As the interviews progressed, Sarah struggled to maintain her composure, disturbed by the coldness in Jonathan's eyes and the absence of remorse. Chapter 4: Unveiling the Patterns. Sarah's tireless pursuit of Jonathan led her down a labyrinthine path of interconnected events and locations. Each crime scene held clues, puzzle pieces waiting to be deciphered. She examined the meticulous nature of Jonathan's modus operandi, the calculated choice of victims, the symbolic messages left behind. With the help of forensic experts, she analyzed the evidence, uncovering the hidden patterns that connected the murders. As the web of Jonathan's twisted mind unraveled, Sarah understood the elaborate planning behind his crimes. He took pleasure in taunting the police, leaving cryptic messages and calling cards that showcased his superiority and the inability of law enforcement to catch him. But Sarah was determined to prove him wrong. Chapter 5: The Final Showdown. The net was closing in on Jonathan Harris, the tension building toward a climactic confrontation. Sarah and her team launched a carefully orchestrated operation to apprehend the serial killer. They moved through a maze of hidden passages and secret lairs, guided by their understanding of Jonathan's twisted mind. In a gripping showdown, Sarah found herself face to face with the embodiment of evil. The two engaged in a battle of wits and wills, each determined to outmaneuver the other. It was a high-stakes game where every decision could mean life or death. The suspense reached its peak as Sarah's relentless pursuit and deep understanding of Jonathan's psyche ultimately led to his capture. Chapter 6: The Legacy of a Monster. With Jonathan Harris in custody, the story shifted focus to the aftermath of his crimes. The impact on the victims' families and the community at large was immeasurable. Lives had been shattered, innocence forever lost. Sarah explored the long-lasting scars left by Jonathan's actions, the nightmares that plagued the survivors, the grief that consumed those left behind.